Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news. Now folks, if you've been paying close attention to the NFL landscape, you know that the offseason is always buzzing with rumors, signings, and the constant shuffle of players trying to find their footing before the season kicks off. But this year, especially for Detroit Lions fans, there's a sense that something bigger is on the horizon. You see, while the Lions have been relatively quiet in terms of roster shakeups, the NFL's offseason activity has been anything but, and there are some intriguing stories brewing that could have major implications for Detroit's future. One of those stories involves veteran players who are still looking for a spot, players with ties to the Lions, players who, if given the right opportunity, could make a significant difference once the games start. And right at the center of this, we have a player who's been a familiar face in Detroit in the past, a guy who made a real impact during his time with the Lions and continues to be on the radar of NFL teams even now. That player is Ameer Abdullah. For those of you who may have forgotten or are newer fans, Abdullah was a key part of Detroit's backfield during a crucial period, bringing speed, agility, and a knack for making big plays. Selected by the Lions back in 2015 with the No. 54 overall pick in the NFL draft, Abdullah quickly became a fan favorite thanks to his explosive ability to turn small gaps into big gains. His time in Detroit was marked by moments of brilliance, a player who could change the course of a game with his quick cuts and speed. But the NFL is a tough league, and the career of a running back, no matter how talented, is often a roller coaster. After leaving Detroit, Abdullah found himself traveling around, trying to find the right fit. He signed with the Las Vegas Raiders, where he's been part of their running back rotation for the past few seasons. And folks, let me tell you, despite being over 30 years old now, Abdullah showed last year that he still has plenty left in the tank. In fact, the 2024 season turned out to be one of his best performances in recent years. He managed to rack up 106 touches, including 66 rushing attempts and 40 receptions, totaling 572 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's impressive, especially considering he was sharing carries with other backs and was often used in a complementary role. What makes Abdullah's recent performance even more intriguing is that he's still capable of producing at a high level, even in a limited role. And for a veteran who can be signed for the veteran's minimum, that kind of production is exactly what teams are looking for, a player who can step in and provide immediate value, especially in a league where injuries are inevitable and depth is key. For the Lions, having a player like Abdullah back in the fold, even just as a depth piece or a potential game changer in certain packages, could be a real boost. But right now, he's out there, waiting for that call. Waiting for an opportunity to join a new team or perhaps return to an old one if the stars align. Of course, the NFL offseason is also about waiting, watching, and hoping for that break to come. Abdullah's situation isn't unique. Dozens of players are in similar positions, hoping to get the right news at the right time. Some of these players are waiting for injuries to strike or for teams to make a move, especially as training camps open and rosters start to take shape. Teams are always looking for that hidden gem, that veteran who can step in and make a difference without breaking the bank. And it's not just about talent. It's about readiness, mental toughness, and being in the right physical condition to seize the moment when it arrives. Now I want to pause here for a second because this is a perfect moment to remind you all, pause here, just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Detroit Lions news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Back to the Lions and the wider NFL picture, there's a lot of excitement around Detroit's current roster. The team, under head coach Dan Campbell, has been building something special, a hard-nosed, gritty squad that's not only competitive but also has the potential to contend for a deep playoff run. The Lions have invested heavily in their offensive line, bolstered their defense with key signings, and developed young stars like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff, who has been thriving under the system. The team's offensive scheme is designed to be versatile, allowing their playmakers to shine, and that's why a versatile veteran like Abdullah could fit in perfectly if called upon. Looking at the current roster and the coaching staff's approach, it's clear that Detroit values leadership, experience, and football IQ, qualities Abdullah has in abundance. His ability to read defenses, make quick decisions, and contribute both in rushing and receiving makes him a potential hidden weapon. And with the NFL season just around the corner, the Lions are probably sitting by their phones, waiting for that perfect veteran to add depth and experience to their already competitive roster. The role of a veteran back like Abdullah could be vital during the grind of the season, especially if injuries strike or the team needs a spark in certain situations. But let's not forget, the NFL is a league of opportunities and second chances. Players like Abdullah, who have been through the grind, know that the window to make an impact is always open. You just need to get that call at the right moment. And with the Lions aiming for a deep playoff push, every piece of the puzzle counts. Their running game, in particular, has been a focus area, with Jahmyr Gibbs emerging as a promising talent. But veteran leadership in the backfield could be the difference-maker in close games, in crucial moments when experience and calm under pressure are what matter most. And speaking of the division, the NFC North is shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions in the league this year. The Packers are rebuilding, the Vikings are always in the mix with their talented roster, and the Bears are trying to find consistency with their young quarterback and new coaching staff. The Lions have established themselves as a team to watch, and a lot of that comes down to their talent, coaching, and strategic planning. But in a league where injuries and unforeseen circumstances can change everything in an instant, having veteran options who can step up is invaluable. Abdullah fits that mold perfectly, a player who, if given the chance, can provide both depth and a spark. Now some of you might be wondering, what's next for Abdullah? Is there a real shot he might land with Detroit again? Or will he wait for that perfect opportunity elsewhere? Well, the truth is, the NFL offseason is unpredictable. Sometimes, a team's need arises suddenly, and a veteran like Abdullah becomes the solution they didn't know they were looking for. Other times, players have to wait patiently, stay in top shape, and hope that an injury or a team's roster shakeup opens the door for them. Abdullah has proven in the past that he's resilient, that he can adapt, and that he's still eager to contribute at the highest level. From a statistical perspective, Abdullah's recent numbers are impressive. His 2024 season with the Raiders showcased his ability to be productive in multiple facets of the game. The 572 yards from scrimmage and 5 touchdowns aren't just numbers. They're proof that he's still a viable option in today's NFL, especially for teams looking for that veteran savvy. And let's not forget, he's also a special teams contributor, which makes him even more valuable as a versatile player who can fill multiple roles. If Abdullah gets the call, he'll be ready, that's a given. Professionalism, preparation, and mental toughness are what define him. And in a league that's increasingly about matchups, schemes, and situational football, having someone like Abdullah ready to go at a moment's notice is an asset. He's been through the ups and downs of an NFL career, and he knows what it takes to succeed, to stay motivated, and to seize the opportunity when it finally comes knocking. Looking ahead, the Lions are in a great position heading into the season. Their roster is deep, their coaching staff is sharp, and the culture of grit and determination under Dan Campbell is resonating throughout the organization. But as with any team, depth and experience can be the difference between a good season and a great one. Bringing Abdullah back or signing another veteran back could be a strategic move that pays dividends as the games count down. That's the beauty of the NFL, it's unpredictable, and sometimes, the smallest move or the underrated veteran can change everything. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on Abdullah's situation? Do you think he's got a shot at returning to the Lions, or do you believe he'll find a new home somewhere else? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Detroit Lions. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Detroit Lions news. This team is on the rise, and every piece of news, every player story, contributes to the bigger picture of what's shaping up to be an exciting season ahead. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, let's keep that Lions' pride alive and roaring.